Hey there, welcome back. We're continue working on this Datsun build. So the car is already stripped. Almost doesn't have anything inside. So we've just basically stripped it to the bare metal. And the first thing that we decided to do is to get rid of some nasty parts.
Pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should blur this out because because some folks out there might find this offensive, and yeah, it might terrify some people. But so here's how it looks like right now. We've already traced the lines. It's kind of give us some reference where to cut it. So we basically want to get rid of the whole firewall, and we're gonna rebuild, make a new one completely from scratch. Well, first thing, we're gonna roll this car out outside because you don't want to breathe all this nasty stuff in the shop. Well, let's get it started. So, we've cut the firewall out, dropped the engine. This is the very first test fit. We're running a little bit fitment issues, but it doesn't look too bad. It sits pretty deep, which would be great for the weight distribution, and it also sits pretty low. We can drop it even lower. I don't know if you can see it from here, but the oil pan is almost at the same level as the frame. So this is not a bad thing. So I guess we'll just leave it like this and gonna work on the firewall around the current setup. The gearbox is over here, which isn't that bad at all. So we can call it a success. The engine is out. Now we need to start building the motor mounts. So what we did, we put the tape, the masking tape, to the place where we're gonna build the engine mount, and we kind of traced these holes, like poked them with fingers, and then took the tape out and transferred it to the metal. So we've already made the little dents with the center punch. Now we're gonna cut out the bracket, the mount itself. I'm gonna drill the holes and see if it works. So this is our progress. We built this little subframe so we could mount weld the engine mounts to. So this part goes into the frame along with that one. It sits over there right under these frame rails, and they're gonna be bolted from the top using 2 bolts on each side. So now we tacked these support brackets just to make it more convenient to build the engine mounts outside of the chassis, so you'd have more room. So now the only thing that's left is to connect this plate to this tubing. We probably won't run any rubber engine mounts, so it's gonna be a solid mount, just welded directly from the engine to the subframe. Well, now it's just a matter of making those mounts, and we can put the engine back and see how it will go. Okay, so here's what we ended up with. This is the subframe with an engine mounts. It's all welded and ready to go. So these parts are gonna go under the car, and we're gonna drill 2 holes on each side, and then we're gonna put the reinforcement brackets on the frame rails on both sides, put a bolt through them. Yeah, anyway. I'm gonna put 2 bolts and bolt it back into place.
A few moments later.
So subframe is in. It's on the engine. The engine is inside of the engine bay. Took all the measurements. It sits pretty much where we want it to sit. So now we need to drill these holes through the frame rails, and then we'll be ready to start fabricating the transmission mount. So let's go. So we drilled the holes, we installed those brackets. The engine now sits on its own without any support, and this is how it looks like. I think it looks awesome. Look from underneath. And now we can finally start building the transmission mount. It sits really beautifully. Sits pretty low, pretty deep in the engine bay, and leaves a lot of room for activities here. So stay tuned.